So in the Gambia, where I am from, the water in urban cities is generally safe to drink. But we do face salinity issues due to River Gambia. So the water supply through boreholes and taps is generally managed by the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, to ensure quality. But generally, the water quality in sub-Saharan Africa is a story of contrast. Cities like Kigali, Accra, Cape Town have invested in water treatment facilities that are meant to deliver clean, safe water right to the household tap. But would you actually drink it? The truth is, water supply is very unpredictable. Aging pipes, intermittent supply, and insufficient treatment mean that water can pick up harmful contaminants along the way, serving as breeding grounds for waterborne diseases like cholera, typhoid, and dysentery. So the irony is that this is often due to human mismanagement, not nature, that contaminates these precious resources. So at this moment, I want you to join me talk to my colleague here, Michael Oti, who has all the idea and knowledge about water management and water supply in Ghana. Michael, how are you there?
I'm doing very well, Fatou. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Why are you walking around with a glass of water in your hand?
So we're talking about water supply and water quality, and you're already working on a story on water there in Ghana. Tell me, where do you get the water supply from in Ghana?
Well, there are several sources, mostly from the rivers. We've got also underground aquifers. We've got large water reservoirs. And so our water comes from very many different sources. So
that being said, is the water quality the same in all parts of the country?
Unfortunately not. It depends on where you are in the country. In some areas, the water quality is much better than in other areas. And there are lots of reasons for this.
Why is that?
One of the very big reasons would be mining. The activities of mining pollutes water resources. And that coincidentally is the project that I'm working on currently. I'm working on a documentary for 77%, which is, by the way, coming up very, very soon. So look out for that. We are talking about illegal mining in Ghana and how that affects the quality of not just the environment, but also people's lives.
Has anything been done about it? How is this issue being regulated?
It's a very big challenge for Ghana at the moment. And by the way, not just Ghana, this is a problem that cuts across many West African states. And this is closely tied to the increase in gold prices on the international market. This means that a lot more people are getting into artisanal mining, which on the one hand is good for them. But on the other hand, we have consequences like what we are seeing right now on the screen. Water is getting destroyed. Water resources are getting destroyed. Rivers are turning turbid. And people are mostly interested, when I say people, I mean miners, are mostly interested in getting the mineral resources out of the ground, but do not really care about how that impacts the rivers and also the water resources.
But have they been sensitized about the consequences that's happening there in their various communities?
It's a big challenge because illegal mining, or what they would call small-scale mining, is a largely unregulated industry across many West African states. And so the government is not able to educate the people. First of all, it does not even know who is doing what.
Exactly,
where.
yeah.
And to give you some context, in some of the places where I've been for this story, there are people who are hiding in forest reserves. And it took me sometimes 2 hours to drive on a tricycle. Cars cannot access these forest reserves. So you need a small tricycle to travel 2 hours to get to the mining site. And this is happening on the blind side of the government. But the consequences affect everyone. And so, I mean, at every stage, they would argue, some of the miners argue that they dig their own wells. So they are not dependent on rivers or whatever. But what they do not acknowledge is that whatever well that they have dug, they are using the underground water resources. And when they are done with their process of finding gold, that water is poured out and it seeps, it percolates back into the ground. And so mercury used on the surface can find its way back into the underground water resources and still affect people.
People, indeed. Interesting. Well, thank you so much, Michael.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, and I look forward to sharing a lot more of what we found in our Digging Deep documentary on illegal mining with you and also all of our viewers.
Pretty sure they will enjoy this particular piece by you. At the end of the day, the regions that invest in cleaner, more efficient water systems reap the benefits, while those caught in the grip of contamination and corruption face an uphill battle.